What's good? Trying to get myself together here. Damn. Hold on a second. Yeah, chilling. Got too damn comfortable. I like my t-shirt, too damn opinionated. Well, hope y'all enjoying your weekend. Valentine's weekend and tomorrow's President's Day. I'm loving it because sometimes I don't realize that I don't get enough sleep as I should. Hold on a minute. A little tea and shit. So y'all should be up and chilling. There's a little tea I sometimes drink at night. It's got apple cider vinegar. It's got turmeric, cumin, and turmeric. Uh, it helps, regulate stuff. Y'all Google it. Apple cider vinegar is good for like bloating and all that stuff. But anyway, well, this Black History Month has been something else. I might have to do a second video to talk about all the nonsense that's going on. But this one thing I want to start this off with, and I'll go into other topics, but I want to get this off my chest really quickly because there's a whole lot of stuff I want to talk about. But I want to get to this whole voter ID. They're talking about the SAVE Act. That's what I need to put on here, the SAVE Act. And they're trying to get passed. And one of the things that, or the Republicans are trying to get this thing passed, right? And the Democrats are staunchly against it. And rightfully so. They're always against something they think that's going to hurt immigrants. The Democratic Party, if y'all haven't found out already, does not represent foundational Black Americans. It really never has. But 2024, when the president really stumped a mud hole in that last presidential candidate and kind of swept the country, painted the country red, they've been instead of that party, members of that party who's supposed to be representative of Black Americans, instead of them just going back to districts and doing better and trying to earn our votes, re-earn our votes with some real policy, something that matters, or some tangibles, the same tangibles they've been giving, they've always given to immigrant groups, illegal immigrants. Now they're fighting for them. LGBT, Israel, Asians, Hispanics, they give them millions of dollars, and they've gotten together to push really quickly anti-Asian, anti-LGBT. Working on, we need to talk about this. They're working on trying to get an anti-Jewish law passed in this country. Meaning you can't say, what's up, whoever that is, Severino. These Democrats, along with Republican, along with also, but mainly the Democrats are pushing it, trying to, with Republican help, because we can't leave them out, trying to get laws passed in this country where you can't critique or speak your facts or your opinions about Israel or Jewish people in this country. Y'all pay attention. But anyway, it's a lot going on. I'll do a second video, maybe tonight, if y'all don't go to bed on me. But the SAVE Act is talking about voter IDs. Now, every year, the Democrats come at us, they're trying to take your rights away instead of giving us some of these instead of putting together an anti-Black hate crime bill the way they did for every other group. They always try to get stuff from us, get votes from us for free, which they've done. They've been very successful in it. And when you come in here, please, it's free. Press that like button. I appreciate it. They've been successful in getting our votes for free. 90%, 95% of the Black vote every time there's an election. Over 95%. So they really don't have any incentive to do anything for Black people, foundational Black Americans in this country. But we already know now, we found out, enough Black folks have found out that this immigrant thing is about replacing Black folks, replacing the Black vote, because they've noticed that Black people have been falling off the Democrat, walking off, running off, some of them are crawling off the Democratic rotation. So, hell, they started this about 10, 15 years ago. Dr. Claude Anderson tried to tell us. Y'all Google Dr. Claude Anderson. Here's a video from 1995. He's telling us about how they're going to usher in all the immigrants to replace blacks. We don't seem to like to hear that facts about them. So anyway, the SAVE Act, and I haven't gone through all of it, but the main thing that seems to be upsetting the liberals in this country, liberals, Democrats, what have you, is part of the SAVE Act where it says that in order for you to vote, you need to have an ID to vote, which everybody I know, everybody you know, has an ID of some kind, state ID of some kind, driver's license or something, or you have a passport, and then we're also requiring that you show your birth certificate. Oh, they don't like that at all, and they're up against it. Not and so this is what these slick bastards have been doing. That every time they want to do something that they think they always want to use race when it's convenient for them, like pull something out their holster. That's okay. Pew, 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 race, race, race. Pew, 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 race, race, race. They always like to use that. And so, and they act as if we don't know how to spot out racism. And like we haven't been in this country 400 years. We don't know what white supremacy is. I remember when I was studying racism and white supremacy when I was young in the early 90s. You never heard a Democrat even use the word. You never even heard a lot of black folks use the word white supremacy. Our scholars who talked about white supremacy in the 50s, 60s, 70s, all the way up to the 90s, the masses of black people weren't even on that. It wasn't until Democrats started listening to African-centered, or they like to label pro-black, started listening to what people were saying about racist white supremacy, then they started using it. They don't believe in it. They don't believe in racist white supremacy because when they were talking about racism, white supremacy, racism, Don Lemon is homosexual and married to a white man. Over 70% of your Democratic politicians have white partners or white husbands or white wives. Ketanji Brown Jackson, white husband, Jewish. Kamala Harris, white husband, Jewish. Everybody that talks about racism, they're married to white folks. So you can't take these people seriously. You can't be married to somebody white and talking about racism. It's an oxymoron. And I'll talk more about that. So, and they've always looked at black people as if we're retarded. Maybe because we have not built a fence. I've done tons of those about black people building a fence around our group. And I'll put it in a religious sense. And they say, Jesus built a fence around me, oh Lord. I always say black people need to build a fence. We won't. We won't do it. And so everyone can come in and do everything they want and say anything. Luckily, there's a few of us that got good sense. More than a few, but I'm just saying. So, try to use the talking point of the SAVE Act is racist. And if y'all have not been paying attention, it's all over YouTube. Go to any interview that's been done by a liberal white person. White folks even we're dumb. That we're too stupid to get an ID. They really believe that. I've seen interview after interview of young white college kids or just young white folks really think that blacks are dumb. They think all of us live in the hood and we're just dumb. Even in the hood, they think we're just dumb. Amazing. That's after 2024. See, I already know about shit. But a lot of us finally got a clue to what they think about you. Hell, even Ice Cube had his album America's Most Wanted. Here's what they think about you. If you know about Ice Cube and his Most Wanted album, I think the first one he came when he left NWA, he went to New York and got it produced out there. And there's a vignette on that album on that CD. Was it a CD there? I think it was album. And it says, here's what they think about you. I think it was CD. Here's what they think about you. And boom, jungle, bunny, monkey, banana eating, in blah, blah. It just goes down all of the slurs they think about blacks. That was a very classic Ice Cube CD. The first three, I think, is Most Wanted, Death Certificate, and another one, Lethal Injection. Those three. Most Wanted, Death Injection. Three of Ice Cube's coldest best CDs. Yeah, and so and so we already been knowing about this, but no, those of us who are not flexible enough to come outside of the, I guess, of the politics of it, and look at the I guess social politics of it all. You're not paying attention. So they're playing this old game again. Well, it's going to hurt African Americans because, they don't have access to ID. It's so far away from them. They don't know get to a DMV. I don't know if they know how to spell DMV. They're so broken. They don't know how to. You remember the Democratic governor? Uh, the Democratic governor of New York said that kids in the Bronx didn't know if you showed them a laptop, they didn't know what to do with it. That technology, it's not it's not it's not the Republican conservatives that's saying little slick side eye shit. It's the people that y'all think are for blacks. Awful. They're saying some awful things, but we're pretending that we don't hear it comes from them. It is white liberals that's called a black man a house nigga because he works for ICE. These white folks. But y'all don't pay attention to that. So anyway, they're saying that blacks are too stupid. I'm so happy that, see, one thing about it, foundational black Americans, we're on it. We're on it. We're not letting people just say anything. Another thing, I appreciate social media so much because back in the day, main networks, ABC, NBC, CBS, they had all the newspapers. They controlled America's thought. But in the advent of the internet and social media, man, as soon as you say something stupid, we're on it immediately. 1 minute after you say it, 30 minutes, the latest the next morning, but on your ass. And I like that. I like that evening of the odds, the balancing of the odds. I love that. And they're saying it. And then now people are having to walk back the shit that they say immediately. So, and people are doing interviews in real time. But see, networks are not going to show this. That's why I appreciate social media. Good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. I appreciate social media because all of us, including you, we all have something to say. We all have a voice. And so, yeah, they'll go around saying that we are too dumb to get IDs. Okay, now that we've gotten past that, they saw it wasn't working because we got on Twitter, got on their ass, TikTok, got on their ass for some Facebook posts, but mainly Twitter and TikTok shut it down. So you know what they're doing now? Well, that law is going to hurt women, so they moved it on women. It's going to hurt a lot of women who are married. Oh, so married women don't know how to go and get their ID in their married names. I'm telling you, it's awful. So married women are too stupid or too lazy to go and get their ID switch over in their married names. That is amazing. It's women. It's going to hurt a lot of women. And further say marginalized groups and black people, black Americans and people of color. No. This shit is great. So they switched it to women. That doesn't seem to be working either. Because whenever they say that dumb shit, they get challenged right then and there. So now, let me see, black folks work. Now they're talking about women. Every time they name somebody, they're essentially saying that they're dumb. And what this is all about. And the same thing when they had that healthcare nonsense. They're taking healthcare from a lot of Americans, from a lot of people. What was happening and what's going to happen now. But they're going to fight really hard in the Senate. They're going to shoot it down. The Democrats not going to go along with it in the Senate. But it passed the House already. So they're filibuster for immigrants, illegal immigrants. They're filibuster for them. And going back to what I was about to say about the health thing, there were millions of illegal immigrants getting free health care, Medicaid, Section 8. And what the president is doing is trying to empty all those lists, all those coffers of these illegals getting services that belong to tax-paying Americans. I keep saying the word illegal. Illegal. If you snuck over here, if you didn't come through the front door, knock on the door and say, hello, may I come in? And what is the process of coming in? If you didn't do that, you are an illegal. I don't give a goddamn if you was here for 20 years, 30 years, you got grandkids now. If ICE gets a hold of your ass and finds out that you have not come through the front door to do what every country demands that visitors or new people do, I don't give a shit. I have no sympathy when they put you in handcuffs and your grandkids and kids and wives, all them. Oh, no, God, don't take Papa. Oh, no, don't take Papa. No, no, now you broke the law. And then you're given a chance to come back through the front door. Why is that so difficult? It's not difficult. People are purposely playing games. That's what all this pushback is about on the Democratic side. They don't give a shit about us. Never have. Everything they do is not for the benefit of black people. And for those of you who are thinking and wondering, well, Rico, what do you think Republicans don't do? We're not supposed to think anything that they're going to do. We don't vote for them at 95%, 96%. Every damn election, locally, state, or federal. We don't vote for them, remember? So why would you ask about what you think the Republicans are going to do? What we need to do is get our act together politically. We need to learn that politics is a business. It's not a personality contest. It is a business. Every group understands that politics in this country is a capitalistic business except for black people. We continue to vote against our own interests. Hell, we so messed up, we ain't know what our interests are. Our interests are always tied into other groups. But one thing about other groups, their interests are not tied into ours because they're doing it the right way. They come here to take care of their own selves. But we're so stupid. And I'm saying we're so misled. Bible we put our political and religious faith in. A lot of your preachers mislead you because they're getting that envelope on Sunday mornings. They got that 501c3, they get a large donation. And then you have your so-called official that's black. And we already know the liberal white ones but a lot of you ain't know that the liberal white folks are kicking you in your ass. We are under the impression in this country, too many of us in the black community in America are under the impression because if they're not a Republican, they're not racist or can't be racist or can be against blacks. That's racism, white supremacy 101. Rest in peace, Brother Neely Fuller, Sister Dr. Francis Cressy. And he's still with us, Dr. Claude Anderson. We don't understand. And so that's what this whole ID thing about. I'm asking the question, are black people too dumb? Democrats and liberals seem to think we're too dumb to get ID. But I'm here to tell you that's not true. Y'all gonna have to come with something a little better if you want those midterms. If you want the midterm elections to go your way, you're gonna have to stop insulting the intelligence of black voters. Those of us who were well aware a long time ago what you up to, and it's usually no good when it comes to black Americans, foundational black Americans. You always say the most insulting things. Let's go back to the 60s, the 50s and the 60s, when the conversation of Ebonics was going around. Y'all remember that? In the 80s, and when you put all the crack, let's go to the 70s and 80s. You put the heroin in the neighborhood in the 60s to destabilize any real black leadership. Everybody got hooked and shit. And then in the 80s, you put the late 80s, mid 80s, the 80s, put crack in there, and then you pass laws to penalize drug addicts. But white folks on fentanyl and meth, you got commercials saying, all of our people are dying. Y'all come up with millions of dollars to help them get treatment. But you don't want to send them to prison, huh, Joe Biden? Bill Clinton, where you at? Get your old ass up. Y'all don't want to send them to prison for their addiction and activities as a result of their addiction. And one thing about it, fentanyl and meth wasn't put on the white community. They was going into their grandmother's medicine cabinets and getting the damn opioids. Getting the opioids and fentanyl. They were going in their grandmother's, the little white kids going in stealing their grandmother's prescription and abusing them. Then it started spreading. And then it came out that pharmacists was giving them without a prescription. Y'all got to watch some of these hearings. Yeah. But crack was thrown on black folks. And then we were penalized for being addicted to a drug that you put in the neighborhood to destabilize the black community, to bust up the black family, Democrats and Republicans. But the bill was initiated by a Democrat, signed into law by a Democrat. But we still vote for these people. If you don't know where to vote for me or Trump, you ain't black. Y'all remember that? Did y'all pretend that y'all how y'all try to pretend that never happened? Okay. It's weird. But anyway, y'all, please go ahead and like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate you. I'm gonna come back in a little bit. I'm gonna sip some more of this tea and talk about a lot of other topics. If y'all are still up on this night before President's Day tomorrow. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. It's your man Rico the Opinionist. I'll talk to you in the future. Peace.